the bunny is going to dig himself a little home. After taking the measurements, he took the plans out of his bag. It's a small room. It looked simple, but the bunny loved it. Just then a mole came crawling by. He greeted the rabbit warmly. He took out his design and shared it with the rabbit. His house was a big 2-roomed house, right next door to the rabbit's, and it's almost finished. The rabbit timidly picked up his drawings. He looked at the simple design and felt very inferior. But then a little mouse came along, and he was very enthusiastic about sharing his plans. His house was a 6-bedroom mansion. Inside, all his family lived. The house was next door to the bunny's. The bunny became even more ashamed of himself. He held on to his drawings and wouldn't show them to anyone. He was afraid of ridicule and felt his drawings were inferior to theirs. The mouse took out a pen and tried to help. The rabbit was so scared that he hid his drawings behind his back. He packed up his things and tried to run away, until he felt he had dug far enough. He took out his drawings again and decided to settle down here. But no sooner had he dug than he fell into the hedgehog's home. The hedgehog didn't get angry. He brought out freshly baked cookies. But the bunny was so scared that he ran away. When he calmed down, he dug again. This time he dug into the frog's house. The frog's family was organizing their bookcase. Once again, the bunny was embarrassed and left. He continued to dig down. This time he fell into the lizard's bathtub. He covered his eyes in shame and tried to escape, but he escaped into the sauna. Then it bumped into a small lizard that was wiping its body. The lizard invited him to join him. He blushes and continues to dig without looking up. After a few turns, he dug his way into the ants' dining room. The ants invite him to drink with them. Embarrassed, he escapes again. This time he finally manages to avoid all the burrows. He digs all the way down and falls in front of a big door. His shovel breaks in half. He tries to knock for help, but the hissing from inside sends him scurrying. He dug frantically down and down, until he couldn't touch anyone anymore. He finally stopped. He took out his drawings again and decided to make his home here. So he grabbed a shovel and drove it down. The water seeped through the crack. Bunny took the plans and tried to plug the hole, but the cracks got bigger and bigger and the water flowed more and more. The rabbit grabbed the drawing and left. He had the courage to knock on the door, and out came a kindly Mr. Honey Badger. The rabbit was full of remorse and told Mr. Honey Badger what had just happened. As he talked, he started to cry, like a child waiting to be punished by an adult. But Mr. Honey Badger picked up the bunny's design and handed it to him. Suddenly, he roared. The sound was carried through all the channels to the animals above. The animals received the signal and came to support him with their tools. Suddenly seeing so many animals, the rabbit stepped back out of habit. But Mr. Honey Badger pushed him forward. He finally found the courage to lead the group to the scene of the incident. With everyone working together, they quickly dug a tunnel and diverted the underground water into a nearby stream. Everyone cheered happily. The little rabbit looked at the river and pondered. Suddenly he picked up his drawing and called out to Mole and Mouse. He showed them his drawings. The mouse was eager again and brought out his pen. With the help of the others, his new home was finally built. Only a few more rooms had been added to the original plans. From then on, the bunny became less fearful, and he gained a lot of warm friends.